Okay, guys, today we have this really cool modern modern residence, and I want to try to see if we can give it a little glow up here with some classical architectural details. This house is very cool. The reason I like it is because of these elements here, these kind of like post and beam structures that are going on, but they're not quite defined. And I think that can really help take this facade here to the next level. Because when you look at something like this, what you don't see is the structure. And that's kind of the problem with modern architecture is they say that, that there's truth in architecture and they try to show the structure, but a lot of times what they really try to do is kind of give like illusion type things where you don't see the structure. Here it looks like glass is holding up this area here, or this area is floating. You kind of don't really see the structure, and that's kind of what's happening here. We know there's structure, it's obviously standing, but what it's communicating to us is that this glass here is holding up this part, or this wood here is possibly holding up this part. We're not really sure. This could be all one piece here, but if it was one piece, this area here is, because of gravity, is going to want to slide down. And if it really was one piece, you'd start to get cracking here at these corners because this isn't solidly on top of this if it's all one piece. And so this does work, obviously, because it was done by a structural engineer. And so rationally, we know this is safe to go in. It's going to hold up to the elements, to the local design codes. But how do we communicate that to our reptilian brain, to our hind brain, to the brain, the part of our brain that looks out into the environment to find safety and shelter? One way we can do that is to create the post and beam structure, give the look of the post and beam structure. And the post and beam structure is one of the oldest and most basic forms of architecture. You look at some of the earliest architecture, the like earth mounds or the rock mounds that were used for ceremonies and rituals. Later on, you start to see that they create kind of pathways into these mounds, and the way they do it is through post and beam structure. You'll see two posts and a beam as kind of a doorway, and then they'll just repeat the post and beam and connect it with rafters to get three-dimensionality out of it, and you can kind of enter the space. So this post and beam structure is one of the most ancient structures, and it really resonates with us because we understand what it's doing, because we exist in nature and we exist in the environment, and we stand up straight to kind of resist gravity. If we were tilted to one side or another, gravity would be working against us, so we stand up straight. And we understand that's what posts do. Posts stand up straight and they resist gravity, and then you have a beam above it, and these two posts hold up the beam, and it creates a space for us to get out of the elements, out of the sunlight, out of the rain, out of the weather. And so that's the simple shape from some of the earliest architecture. And like I said, it kind of resonates with us when we see these right angles in contrast to nature, which is, apparently chaotic to our eyes. These 90-degree angles say a human was here. They kind of contrast and stand out to us, so we're attracted to it. So what can we do here to just take it one more level up? We know it's safe, but let's communicate that. And so one of the things we can do is let's make this a beam, or at least visually make it look like a beam. And so very simply, all we need to do is add some banding, possibly a stucco band, IFAS band, something like that. And now this beam visually is separated from the posts, and it looks like this heavy object is on these two supporting objects. And now the weight of this object is no longer on the glass and the wood. So the glass and the wood is free to just be itself and not have to hold anything up, just hold itself up. And it's protected by the beam above it. And just a quick way to kind of finish it off, make it a little nicer, just add a little cornice there. Just take it up one more level. And then really the same idea for these other areas here. You know, this one here in the front. Let's just put a band all the way across. Now this reads as a beam. Let's kind of finish it off, make it nice. And same thing with this structure back here. Now it reads as a beam with a column, and just finish it off. And there you go. Now you kind of have the juxtaposition, if you will, an architecture term, of kind of modern elements and traditional elements. And I think those two play off each other and make this kind of take it to another level, kind of give it a little glow up here. Anyway, let me know what you think. And if you like this type of content, please subscribe, comment, or give me a like. Thank you.